Hi everybody, I'm Bob Wilson. I'm a singer-songwriter in San Antonio, Texas. Been writing songs since 1968. I have 3,500 original songs in my song catalog, all kinds. I have 500 songs on YouTube. You can check out YouTube Bob Wilson, roll back to you. I'll be 70 in October and have a great memory. And I'm retired, so I'm finding things that interest me. I mean, all my videos, I've done over 20 videos now, 15 to 30 minute videos. It took me 69 years to figure this stuff out, and I'm always as accurate as I can. This one here is about an actress you may not never heard of called Tierney, Tierney, and I saw her about 10 years ago on a show from 1940 with Henry Fonda called The Return of Frank James. I recommend everybody watch that. And that's 1940. That was her first debut. Okay, she was born in New York. Her father was, I took a lot of notes. Her father was a well-off, like a stockbroker, and she wanted to be a movie star. So around 17 or 18, she went to Hollywood, and I mean, fantastic body. But what makes her different? She's unique. She's not just a pretty face. She has high cheekbones. She has gorgeous complexion, even in black and white shows. Green eyes. She's very, very nice. She doesn't hold grudges, but she's well off. I mean, she expects to finer things in life. Okay, so we went over there and they gave her a screen test, and she started doing stuff on the stage. And in 1940, she had her first role, and 20 years old. The Return of Frank James. She was fantastic in it. Okay, she got married in 1941 to he was a Russian French fashion designer. I believe he did some work for Playboy. I read somewhere that he did Playboy, maybe the costumes or something. His parents were against it, but she did it anyway. They were married in 1941, and in 1943. She loved her fans, so she'd shake their hand and hug them, and she contracted German measles while she was pregnant with Daria, her first child, and they had to give her a blood transfusion. She was only too premature. She had 3 pounds, and she was blind and partially deaf. Her friend, okay, Howard Hughes hit on her. And she told Howard Hughes, "I don't really like you or your money," but they become friends. So when Howard Hughes found out that her little girl was deaf and partially blind, he paid for all the hospital and everything. She was married to the first husband. They got separated. While they got separated, she was doing. I want to get this accurate because there's a lot of work. She was doing a movie, I forgot the name of it, 1946, and this really good-looking World War II veteran called John F. Kennedy. And she was separated. I mean, I don't think she ever cheated on her husbands or boyfriends. I don't think she did that, as far as I can tell. She was just she's a kind person, and she forgives people. And she had a 2-year relationship, and she was still married, separated, but she wanted to marry John F. Kennedy. And in 2 years, John F. Kennedy said, "Look, I'll never marry you. I want to pursue politics." And it broke her heart, but she broke it off. And when Kennedy became president, she sent him a thank you, a congratulations, and she voted for Richard Nixon because she's a Republican. I don't know if you know about the Kennedy election. That's a long story. I'll do one of these days. I'm going to do it if I don't get in trouble with the mafia and different people. Kennedy lost the 1960 election. Richard Nixon won it. The 100,000 bogus votes came from Texas and New York. But that's another story. Okay. So the main thing about her, she was strong. She was gorgeous. I think she did a lot of modeling with swimsuits and everything. Had a fantastic body, but she's kind. She forgives people, but she had mental illness. And she was on a movie set around 1945 or 46. There's so much to hear information on her with Humphrey Bogart, but because of her mental illness, she had trouble, with the lines. And Humphrey Bogart became her friend, and Humphrey Bogart's sister actually had mental problems also, and so Humphrey Bogart tried to help her and convinced her to go to these check her in these places, the sanitariums and things, which was bad because they gave her shock treatments. That was horrible. She hated the shock treatments, but she made like 10 movies or something. She was nominated. Laura in 1944 was, they said, one of her best. She was nominated for an Oscar for another one. In fact, her first daughter, Agatha Christie, made in 1962 made a movie called The Mirror Side by Side, or Side to Side, and on her daughter Daria, who was blind and partially deaf, who was born in 1943, lived till 19. I forgot. She passed away at 66 years old, but Howard Hughes helped her a lot. Her when she was separated, she met John F. Kennedy. They were 2 years together, and she broke it off because he never wanted to marry her. So she reconciled with her husband, and then they did it. But she still was friends. She had. You need to check out this woman. She didn't hate no one. She just moved on with her life, and she didn't. And she was friends with her first husband. They were still friends until his death. Okay. She had an affair with Kirk Douglas, which came out whenever Kennedy became president. They was checking all her girls and found out about her, and Kirk Douglas's relationship with her and everything. And Humphrey Bogart, I think, wasn't romantic. It was just, and Howard Hughes, who wanted to be romantic, and she wouldn't do it. But she had two problems. She had low self-esteem. Although she was courageous at times, and her roles are great, she doesn't think much of herself, and she hated her voice. She says it sounds like Minnie Mouse. I love her voice. Everyone, check out The Return of Frank James, The Ghost in Mr. Mural from 1947, James Dean 1940, and she had like 10 movies. Her stars are in Hollywood. Her stars there. Okay, she was doing a movie in Europe, and she met a prince there, and they were engaged, and he was divorcing Rita Hayworth, and and they were trying to fill up this property settlement with Rita Hayworth, and the prince's father didn't allow it, so they broke that off. Okay, she'd go through moods. One time she was at her mother's apartment complex, and she got down, and this gorgeous woman, and she got on the ledge. I can't say all this stuff here. I'm just telling you what I know. 12, 14 stories up, she was on the ledge. She was going to jump, and thank God one of her friends called the police, and they talked her down, and she thanked them. That they did that. Okay, she got married the second time. No, okay, the first marriage she had Daria, and then she had Christina. Christina was healthy. Okay, but like I say, after the divorce, they still remained friends. She married her second husband. He was a rich oil man, and they started seeing until 1958. He was divorcing an actress too. So they got married in 1960, and they were married till 1981 when he passed away. She lived a quiet life in Houston. They still asked her to do roles. Like I say, she had a hard time remembering lines and things, and she still did roles through the 60s and everything. And her second husband, they did their time from Houston and to Florida. They did their time, and he passed away in 1981. She never remarried. Like I say, she had a bad addiction that a lot of people did four of my family member passed away from it. She smoked. She was a long-term smoker. I don't know if you people know this, but I have to give information. 1939, the cigarette company in the United States knew cigarettes was killing people. They shipped cartons and cartons to the GIs who in battle that didn't have food, but they had cigarettes. And she was a long-term thing, and she passed away in 1991 at the age of 70 in Houston from emphysema. I think I forgot everything. Like I say, Howard Hughes, a recap. First of all, she was a kind, forgiving person. She had mental issues, you know. She forgave everybody. Howard Hughes hit on her, and she told him off. She has quotes. She made like 20 quotes that are, I'm not gonna do them all. One of them, the only one, I can't read all this stuff. One of them, she told on Howard Hughes. She says, "I don't think Howard Hughes loves anything that didn't have a motor." She was blunt. But I mean, she wasn't just another pretty face. She had depth. Her acting was fantastic. She was on top. She married a rich family. When they offered a role, being a rich lady, a role, and they said, "You're gonna only pay me this much money for this?" You know, I mean, she was a little picky at times, but she is a true American actress. Not only her drop dead gorgeous, but she also was just a great person. She forgave everybody, and she remained friends with like I say, with Howard Hughes. Friends, although she would never go to bed with him. Friends. She was friends with Humphrey Bogart, who helped her a lot. She had some kind of a brief affair with Kirk Douglas. She didn't want to tell her love life to people. I don't think she ever cheated on anybody. But the two things in her life which really brought her down was her mental illness. But she overcome it. And long-term smoking. And this drop-dead gorgeous lady is buried in Houston. And she passed away at 70 years old in 1991. Okay, that's on Jean Tierney. Check out her movies. Check out her long bio. She had a great life because she had the highs and she had the lows, but she was just one of a kind. All right, this is Bob Wilson Nation. Peace out.